All right, this is APBC Calculus. We are doing midterm review. This is multiple choice question 3, which is non-calculator. You might hear music in the background right now. That's because apparently the mummers are walking by our house. That is my best guess because we live in South Philly and it is a couple weeks after New Year's, but who knows? Anyway, so let's do some calc. So if the limit as x approaches 3 equals 7, which of the following must be true? Okay, so this phrase must be true. Just to like throw this up on your radar, this almost always means that you're talking about a theorem or a definition almost every single time. So for theorems, we're talking like MVT, IVT, etc. For definition, we could be talking about what the definition of continuous means and the definition of differentiable. So let's think about what the definition of continuous means. So let's look at number 1, right? The definition of being continuous, right? So the definition of being continuous at 3 would be that the limit as x approaches 3 from the left is the same as the limit as x approaches 3 from the right, which is the same as the double-sided limit, which is the same as the actual function value, right? So like, which is the same as the actual function's value. So the issue here, right, is that we know that this exists, right, but we don't know what f of 3 is, right? So we know this exists, which means that these two things, like this section all has to be true, because if the double-sided limit exists, right, then that means that the left and right limit are the same, and therefore the double-sided limit. But the problem is we don't know what f of 3 is. So we don't know that f is continuous, because we could have a situation that looks like this with the dot above. We don't know, right? So we don't know that 1 works. So we can cross off anything that involves 1, right? For the second piece, the definition isn't as important as the fact that that you can't be differentiable unless you are continuous. So you must be continuous to be differentiable. Well, we already established that we don't know that we're continuous, so we can't assume that we are differentiable. So it can't be 2. And then the last piece of information, right? So the last piece of information here, well, the whole reason we don't know that things are continuous is if f of 3 were 7, then all 3 of these things would be true. But we don't know this, right? So f of 3 could literally be anything, right? Because we don't know what number it is. That's the whole reason that 1 didn't have to be true. So C doesn't have to be true, and the answer is none, which is answer A.